times. All right, we finna go into the next individual so we can break this thing down more and more. I keep telling you, this book is hot garbage, and we're gonna treat it as such, as a hostile witness against the nasty pen writer, which is really just copying and pasting. And he done took all these people's pictures and put them in these books, and I bet half of these folks or more don't even know they're in this book. So we're gonna get into it. All right, so we're gonna concentrate on this individual in the middle named Atun Ray, aka Mark Brady. And we're gonna go on a little trip real quick, because like we keep saying, Taharqa, you're a trash researcher, and a part of being a great researcher, even a good researcher, is not only do you investigate and research the people and topics to the best of your ability and leave nothing out, you also have to interview some of these people and do proper vetting. So you throwing all these people up in your book, and a lot of them is criminals and still doing foolishness to this day. I already did a video with you doing this with Polite. Polite is a known criminal in the conscious community, and so is Consul. These are criminals. They do dirt on the streets, and then they run right into the conscious community and pick a hat to put on, and they run with it. So let's get to showing you exactly why we keep saying that your research is trash. Again, for the listening audience, I'm only doing this because he put me in a book, and he definitely misconstrued my character, and not only that, just told 115,000 lies, and he lied on other people in here too. So I'm just doing y'all a favor before, I'm not even going to be selfish and just be like just defending myself and my family, and let those that's in my circle speak up for themselves if they're capable. But I'm gonna, do some extra. So let's get into this real quick. All right, Quipo did a post February 23rd, 2015, right? And you can see your being the religionist spellcaster that he is, right? You don't know what it means to get the Holy Ghost and be saved. Ain't my fault. I'm happy that Christ found favor in me. Again, we know that in the BIAE, Christ is a variant of the word ghost, so which we know that ghost is 3 ether. So Chuck, aka Charles, he likes to throw that word ghost around quite heavy, but he don't never want to use that when it comes to his teacher after he done flipped sides out of noon and ran back to religion, because that's not Nawapu what you doing, bro. So once again, we see that York is following the negative suit of what the Bible interpretation was saying about those people in religion. Same thing with Nine Ball that talk about the purpose of religion is to enslave people and oppress them. And this is why they stuck on stupid right now. So let's move on to some of York's students. All right. Now right here, I talk about Atun Ray way back then, right? Atun Ray is Mark Jonathan Brady, a crazed cult member trying to elevate the cult leader. He is a criminal and woman beater and self-selected savior. He is not Ethiopian, but mankind. He still is fooling the YBN since 2005. Y'all have no clue about deception, but are forever tricked by it. I said, this is what Nawapu breeds. Cult is people in the negative striving to rule others and be worshipped. All right. Like I said, I know this guy very well. All right. Let's get a good look at him. This one we was at Lamont Studio, and he didn't have no attire that he could wear to pose, because he was trying to do a CD. So what we did was we went not too far from Titanium Studio and got a couple of sheets. And that gold thing is just my ex was a pillow. She had that part of a pillow at the time. It went to a pillow. He just took that and threw it on his arm from the back. All right. So let's go to another post. Like I said, you don't do no research, young man. So we have to take you down through there. All right, let's go to another post. All right. This is a post that I think I did. Yeah, February 24th, 2015. All right. Right here I said, Mark J. Brady, false, no relation, blood-wise, departing the Bab. All right. I threw that video I did, the time for the Savior is past. All right. Keep going down. All right. I said, here's a recent update about another non-African Nawabian who called themselves Yahshua, Quadison, etc. And he is also a raving lunatic and fake messiah who lies and tells the Nawabian he is the son of Mr. York. But Nawapus filled with possessed liars and information thieves, that is Larry Shelton, aka Shamu L's Mystic Master. Like, once again, you can look at him real good. Look at his hair. His hair is straight. Mankind. Just remember that. Just remember this for future references. All right. It's a better clear picture. You can see his hair is straight. All right. Here are two pics of Mr. Brady and his wife, Miko, whom he beat this woman's face purple and blue in 2007 at my ex-house. When we woke up in the morning, he said Baba/York told him by way of mental telepathy to beat her to extract the poison out of her. All right. So the story behind this, I was at my girl house at the time in 2007, and Mark had not too long had came back from California, and so I let him, crash every now and then. He would crash there. So he was there for a while, and then he wanted to bring Miko back from Cali, and she had some information that he wanted to use. He had a lot of, he had some paperwork, Moorish information and all of that he said he needed. And he just wanted her to bring that over there for a little while and get through the paperwork and all this other stuff he was trying to do. He was trying to, but when he got the stuff, when she brought it there, a lot of that information he was talking about with the Moors, it had sovereignty packages. A lot of it was out of date. And you really couldn't do nothing with it. And I think he had gathered this stuff when he was in prison. And so what happened is, anyway, I don't know how long it took before the incident happened, but she was there, maybe a few days or something, and me and my ex was asleep. And I woke up, she was up before me, and she was like, I think I heard a little bumping around going on in the living room, because they was sleeping in the living room on the floor. It was carpet and stuff. So I got up when after we was there for a while, and I went into the living room, and the girl was sitting on the floor. Her face was, you see how light skinned she is. Her face was purple. And I'm sitting there standing like I'm like, well, what the hell is this? And I'm like, yo, we used to call him Raw sometime too. So his nickname was Raw. Sometimes he'd go by Mark. Sometimes he'd just be Atun Ray. And sometimes it just be, Raw. So I'm like, y'all, Raw, what happened? Like, what is this? And my ex at the time, Tasha, she started crying. She just broke down crying, because she had a little feminist ways with her, but she really, had a thing for, black women, but women in general. And it just broke her down and she started crying. And she said, Jay, I'm finna call the police. So I'm sitting here like, yo, what the hell is this? And he was like, yo, Baba told me to beat her. I'm like, for what? I'm like, well, what do you mean he told you to beat her? Because he believed that York was talking to him telepathically from jail. And he said, to beat her to extract the poison out of her. He was believing that, that women had this spiritual possession of Ishtar that was in them, and he had to clean it out, and then he also believed he was Jesus. So it was a whole bunch of a lot of your information just heavily misinterpreted. When in hindsight, when I look back, I got away from all of that stuff. So he ended up leaving, and we didn't know where he went. And at the time, we didn't know that they had made friends with some people right around the corner. And Tasha told Mika, said, yo, you gotta go. Like, she looked out with her for a minute, but she said, you got to go. You can't stay here no more because it was too much. So she ended up leaving, and after a while, we found out that they were staying around the corner, and I think Miko ended up getting a bus ticket back. I think she ended up getting a bus ticket back because she had a phone, and she ended up contacting her people. And they basically got her. She ended up leaving. So once we found out they was around the corner, she ended up going. Now she told us he was around the corner before she left. Then she bounced. So we went around the corner. I think in some kind of way we ended up inquiring what was going on. We told the people next door what was going on. I don't know. I can't remember the specifics that they told him to bounce, so he ought to bounce. Charles, you can ask Kyrie what happened. So at this time, I'm sitting here telling Kyrie what was going on. We couldn't find him. We trying to find him because we like, yo, we trying to get at him for why he bugging out and doing all of this. So the whole time, Kyrie had him hiding out at his crib. And I'm sitting here telling her, I say, yo, if that dude is over there, he need to get out because he beat this woman up for no apparent reason. All right? So he kept playing around, lying that he didn't know what a man was. At this time, Kyrie had his own crib with the woman that would eventually be his son's mother, his first child. And, she didn't play. So she was gone. And I think to her sisters or something for a few days or something. Because usually when the weekend comes or something, she would leave and wash her clothes and go to her sister's crib and just left him there. He would work, come back. So it found out that Mark was there. And his girl came home, and it was a big thing about that. And I think it was a big fight or something. I think he ended up going to jail because of the commotion that his sister and her people made when they came there and caught that man in her house, and she didn't want him to be there after. Because I remember when she had her baby, she came in. He was telling her, "Yeah, I'm Dr. York's, spiritual son and all the stuff like that." And she welcomed him in and all of that. But then when she found out what he done, she was very angry. if I remember that right. But I know she definitely told him to get out. It was a big thing. I think Kyrie went to jail not that long though, behind the whole joint. And when he left, he stole all of Kyrie Nawapian books. All of the books he had, he stole them. So you can ask him, and he should verify that. All right. So like I said, the dude is teaching people that he's Jesus. Here's something he put out 2 years ago. So I've been knowing him since like 2005. Let's listen to what he says on here.
Clocks, because he knows me, and he will tell you what he was told to do when I lived in New Wapo Garden by Baba himself. And how many of you have ever been allowed into the tabernacle without filling out an application or giving passport photos or having taken a physical? How many? If there are any, their number are few, and I can lay claim to that. And if you don't believe me, call Milka, Muin's ex-wife. She'll tell you, though she may be scared to, because she's now an Eastern Star too, locked in to an oath. But she had taken an oath not to lie years ago. And the
here you go.
Secrets that ain't secrets no more, because we put up, let me tell you, the Oso Ice made history. Never in the history of Freemasonry has anyone ever got a hold of their books and put them out on the net for the entire world to see. And that alone is enough for them to want me dead. Don't you think so? And what I'm going to tell you all is true right here tonight. I never prayed the prayer. Listen, oh Father, let this cup pass by me until the other night. Listen, not in this life, but I did pray that prayer 2,000 years ago. And the part where I say, my spirit is willing, but my flesh is weak, I didn't say it because I was in fear. Why? Because fear is the exact opposite of divine love. And listen, and love is my name. You can't serve two masters, because to do so is to cheat the one while you serve the other.
So here
but
is
what you all to listen. That means
just a little snippet of this is what York brought up. Now York can't be blamed for the mentality of a person that comes in, but the spirits that create these vortexes and these places of suction for different religious groups that draw in these mentally unstable people, and then a worse spirit gets on them, and then they just go out and then they just start doing what they do. But this is why most of the people you see, even today, who I'm battling with, these people are mentally insane, and they just going out lying. They got lying spirits on them, and this is what we have to do. We have to show and prove that these people do not have all their reasonability together. All right, so I'm just giving you primary source information. When I come back, I'm gonna give you another primary source information and show you, Mr. Taharqa, that you don't vet nobody and you don't do proper research. Again, no matter how much we make fun and make it sound funny, at the same time, we being strictly serious, because you do not care about writing and what it takes, even if you're not the best expresser in writing. Nobody say you have to have the best words, the best sentences, the best punctuations, or the best dictionary or etymological type of wording. It's the fact that you real and you follow the rules to put out the best thing you can. Your book is full of lies, and the way you put it out and the people you put in it, that's how I know. It's trash. It's all real. True me to common peace and wartime. All right, true me to common peace and wartime. This is Tall Noon. Doing a video rebuttaling Lightning from the East by Taharqa, who has a lot of lies and slanderous material in here. And this particular video was about Atun, aka Mark Brady, and right now I'm doing an interview with a good friend of mine and somebody who used to be in a long-term relation with him. And her name is Star, and or Starhy, and I wanted to make sure that I have your permission to record this conversation for the video.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what we want to do is read from page 37, 30, and 39. So I'm going to read from what he's saying about Mark, and then you can cut in whenever you feel like it to either confirm or deny what was going on. All right, so in this page on 37, all right, well, I'm gonna come back from the back. Hold on. Let me go back a little bit. It's talking about the statutory rape charge that York supposedly caught. All right, so it says Okay, so we're gonna jump down to here on page 36. All right, it said in the years that followed, it will subsequently come to light that York had what can only be described as an average career as a youth offender, much of the details of which we have recently been brought to light by the former Nawabian and anti-York detractor Chuck Morgan in his website nawabianism.com. During York's trial in 2003, numerous newspapers reports alleged that the Nawabian leader had pled guilty in 1964 to a previous charge of statutory rape of a 13-year-old girl in Boston at the age of 18, for which he said to have received a probationary sentence. Nevertheless, the circumstances surrounding York's adolescent conviction for rape are not as straightforward as the media and many of his detraction would like the public to believe. The actual incident occurred in 1960, while York, who was at the age of 15 years old at the time, was residing with his maternal guardian in Teaneck University, New Jersey, and the girl he was accused of raping was, the girl he was accused of raping was an 18-year-old who would go on to become the fourth member of the famous 1960 singing trio sensation, the Ronettes. Now, before I ask you to say anything, this is definitely going against the rape charge that York caught in 63. So I don't know. This is what I'm saying. The dude saying things that's not true. Number one, York didn't catch no rape case in 1960. He caught it in 63, and he did 4 years and got out in 1967. All right. The Ronettes. At some stage, York met and befriended 18-year-old Gwendolyn E. Mays. You got anything to say about that, or keep going?
You can keep going. I'm not too sure about that particular part, but
okay.
I can say this. From knowing them and knowing how she is, and her and I had plenty of long talk, to me, she was out here.
Okay.
So when you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Yourself
right.
towards men, those kind of things can happen. Not that they always just accuse the man like he just,
right.
actually attacked the woman or
right.
something like that.
Okay. Now it says, more commonly known as Elaine Mays, first cousin to Veronica and Estelle Bennett, founding members of the 60 female pop group, the Ronettes, famous for the hit song Be My Baby. Anything you want to say about that, or keep going?
She was not part of that I know of. It was Ronnie, Nedra, and Estelle.
Okay. So he got a okay, then it says, now in the same year the two started dating and were later caught having consensual sex by Gwendolyn's mother in the basement of her family home. Naturally fearing chastisement from her mother, Gwendolyn immediately accused the young York of rape instead of admitting that the sex was in fact consensual. So they have the little rape thing they got from Chuck's site, and we already know, it tells you that York caught that case, in 64 and did 3 years. So I don't know why he's using a rape charge, statutory rape charge he caught, I think in New York, for something that he claimed that happened 3 years prior or 4 years prior. A 1964 rape charge don't make no sense.
Not only that, let me explain something. Mark, knowing his mother, has
Right.
anything else, because I was around him more than 10 years. Okay?
Right. Okay. Now, we're going to continue. It said the police were immediately called, and York, who was 3 years her minor at the age of 15 years old and classified as a minor at the time, would later be charged with statutory rape, which is precisely why he only received a non-custodial suspended sentence of youth probation in July of 1964. As a result of the sexual encounter between the two, Gwendolyn fell pregnant soon afterwards and gave birth to a son in March of 1961, which she gave the name Mark Brady. Anything you want to say about that?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
First of all, that's not his son. His father's name, I cannot remember, but he's an Italian man.
There you
okay?
go. Mm-hmm. I know that.
Yes, he's an Italian man. I think, if I'm not mistaken, through that family photos, because his grandmother is one of 16 children, so it was a lot of them. So, but I know most of them, even prior to meeting Mark. This has never come out. I think he's along with the slander, because not only is it bringing in money, this has to be about money. This was never spoke of ever for the whole time he and I were together, to his children or anyone else that I know of, even in the family, and I know most of them as well, has ever spoken about any of this. So I don't know why all of a sudden this is coming up. The only thing that I can think is that they're doing it for money.
Right, and if you look at it,
they also trying to slander him, because I believe Atun Ray had been calling him out for a long time. But honestly, I'm not saying none of us are completely innocent, but to him, I am. And I was. And I think he wanted me to see him because I could not see him for who and what he really is, but I can now.
Now, and just for the record, his mother is black, right?
Yes, she is.
Okay, so if York was Mark's father, he would have nappy hair. Mark has stringy hair like an Italian, and you can see the Italian in him. So
and he looks like him as well.
Mm-hmm. So I knew that because I met him in 2005, and he lived with me for a while when we was down in Augusta,
and you didn't see all that snake stuff.
Right, all of that stuff came out later. Because remember, he came from Cali after he got out of jail, and he stayed with us. Because when I first met him, he was staying with Rodney. And then he left after all that drama, then came back about 2005, 2006. And he stayed with me for a while. And we just, started to, do this whole thing. We was running together, me and him, Brother Jay Atun Ray, was doing blog talk radios, a whole bunch of other stuff like that.
I wish I had known y'all and talked to y'all then, because I would have told you don't trust him. I would have told you to look at him.
Right.
And if I had been able to tell you to look at him, you would have seen what you needed to see.
Right.
You didn't see it
right.
because you trusted. You understand? And you just wanted to build. And he is a very good liar.
Oh, yeah.
So
no doubt.
He's able to fit in there and manipulate everybody.
Right. And that's exactly what happened. Mm-hmm. We're going to get into that in a second. I just want to finish this. All right. So now it says, in 1966, Gwendolyn or Elaine Mays went on tour with the Beatles as part of the Ronettes. Is this true?
She may have, because she did. I knew that she did know a few stars. Like the one she spoke on first to me was Phyllis Hyman. And I know she rode with them on different occasions. She did tell me she had an affair with one of the Silvers. I think it was Ricky Silvers, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So that is possible that she was with them, but she did not do the singing and stuff. Maybe if something happened, I'm not sure if they ever used her as a backup or something, but basically it was Ronnie, Nedra, and Estelle.
Okay. All right. So then it says, doing what she said to have had a brief fling or relationship with Beatles frontman Paul McCartney. Ironically, 20 years later, the child produced between York and Gwendolyn E. Mays would eventually be reunited with his father when he joined the Ansar Baltimore community at the age of 18. You got anything to say about that?
Yeah, because that's not his father. If that's the case, he's my uncle too.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So hold on, that last part, say it again. You said in that case, he's what?
He's my uncle too, my father.
Oh, okay, right. Because, okay, you talking about York. I know Abu means father. Okay.
Right.
Right. You just mean because of the information. But, yeah, we know
Right.
that's a lie.
Right.
We know that
Right.
Mark.
Not my biological father. He is all about a father because he taught us like a dad would teach their children.
Right. Now it says, now I remember this year, in 1980, later receiving the Muslim name Barakat. Barakat. That's right. Barakat Abdullah Muhammad. Today, York's eldest firstborn son, Mark Brady. See, this is a lie. That's not York's first son.
No, it's not his son, period. But it would be his first son.
Right, because he
wants to be a part of him so bad. He wish he could take his life, but he can't.
Right. It's sad, and I seen that. All right, so Mark Brady refers to himself under the name Atun Ray and is currently being hailed by a small but growing fraction of the Nawabi movement as the rightful heir or successor to his father's movement. As we're on the subject of York's criminal record, let us turn our attention to York's supposed gang tie. All right, so it goes down to some other stuff, but I wanted to get your take on it because I know you personally, and I know that you and him was together for years. I know that he was on when he was out there hustling for York, he was on drugs real bad and doing a whole lot of schemes.
I was with him because I didn't have no choice. If I was not with him, like I got tired of getting beat up and getting my money taken.
Right.
So at that time, it's like if you can't beat them, join them type of thing.
Right.
He really, honestly, when that happened for me, he's the one who started it. He was determined that I was going to do drugs.
Right. And how long was you in that abusive relationship with him?
More than 10 years. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Every time, I don't know how, but every time I tried to get away from him, I would stay in different shelters, that they had in place at the time. It was one time the cop took him out of there, and 5 minutes later he was kicking the door. They drove him to the corner and let him go. And he kicked my door right back in. So when you have someone that hurts you like that, attacks you, and no one, now they will play at that, but back then, they didn't care about us, whether we got beat up or what happened to us. That's why a lot of women were killed back then. Mm-hmm. Because that's what I had to go through that more than 10 years and fighting to get off of drugs and all kind of other stuff. He is no good. He's a rotten egg and always have been. It's just that I didn't know better. So anybody can be tricked. You know this yourself. Mm-hmm. Anybody can be fooled. But now as you go on learning, I think being in the movement is what taught me to see him. And it took a while, but it also took a while to get away from that because I didn't have anyone to run to.
Right.
So when you got 4 children and abusive, I mean really, truly abusive, drug-ridden, rotten, mean, nasty, evil person riding you like that, what do you do? Oh, I thought about killing them plenty of times, but I said my children won't have nobody either anyway. Maybe that's what he wants. So I wouldn't give him the satisfaction. No one knows all that I've had to endure, but I'm still here, I'm still enduring, and I'm not none of that. I'm not tied to him in no type of way. I don't even speak to him. He's like in the land of void to me.
Did you meet him before y'all moved into the community in Boston or after?
Yes, I did. And I didn't like him. He just kept chasing me. He just kept on, relentlessly. He would be on my steps. He would be, and I'd go somewhere and he'd just show up. In the beginning, he was a nice person. Even in the beginning of the movement, so it was really, really easy because he has another cousin that's in it, my booth, which really was the reason that I really started getting into it. It wasn't because Mark did.
Right.
So when he started coming around and, sharing information and doing it, that's when I started changing and looking at it. And I'm like, okay, because, at first it was a joke to me as well. Because I was young. I was only 21, 22 years old. And You know, I was still partying and running, you know, out to the clubs and dancing and all this kind of stuff. But I started listening. And then it made it easier for me to listen and do some of the things that Mark, you know, was doing. Like I would follow him in prayer and these sort of things. You know, so it wasn't only the bad things that I followed him in. I followed him in the good things too. But I didn't know he was who he was, so he corrupted that after a while.
Right.
And it was confusing. So, okay, now it's kind of like how people go to church. We don't worship God now we over here worshiping the devil.
Oh.
So when it went like that, I didn't really understand. But I just knew after a while, I knew why he did that. He did that. He had to force me to join forces because he already knew that was the way to take the money, if you understand what I'm saying.
Right. Now I want to bring this up, but I'm not going to mention her name. His daughter that he got with you, which I'm close to her, you know, I'm not going to say her name. Is it true? Because Kim told me, rest in peace, she told me that he went down there with her and beat her up and took her car.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
And when was this? About a year or two ago?
This was either I think it was 2016, I believe.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
Because when we talked, it sounded like it wasn't too long ago that he went down there and
that's not long.
And took her, and he stayed with her for a while.
Yeah, and even the rest of the kids tell me now.
Mm-hmm.
That he hugged them, brought one of them with a cigarette, not really on purpose, but I mean, come on. Then they tell the kids always, when they talk about that, they don't talk about a loving grandfather. He ate all of their stuff, brought somebody else to help eat their food up, and stuff like that. Okay. This was his second chance. That's his second generation. And he messed that up the same way he did with his own children, because he does absolutely nothing for none of them. Even though I don't blame them, because the law wouldn't have it. He's not going to have access to any of them, because nobody trusts you. We know what you are.
Right. And I'm only...
Other people don't know what we do.
Yeah, you know I know. Personally, I know up front. But I just wanted to...
You already know. Ain't no way I'm going to tell you no lie about that, so I really don't care what nobody else, his mother, his great-ass father, and the rest of his cousins, whoever, have anything to say, they can call me. You can get my number.
I just wanted to make sure, because only reason I'm doing this interview is because they are putting, you know, all of these, they glorifying all these wrong people.
And she posted something about that not too long ago, too, like last month.
Okay.
Or another month, about how they glorifying him and putting me down, too.
Mm-hmm. And he running around talking about he a Messiah and all this crazy stuff, so...
He been saying that, yeah, you a Messiah to the devil. Let me deal with it, because I'm getting ready to broadcast it.
All right, I'm gonna stop it right here because I just wanted just to put that in there for the video, and so people can know that this is again not too much going at Mark per se, but it's more so because he's still going around lying, and all these people that follow York.
So with his mother, and she about 80 years old, still on drugs. He's still on drugs, so they have to fund this crap. So this is the way they doing it, and it's messed up. Because they need no one worth a scuffy dimes.
That's sad. And he rocking again, but this is how a lot of these people do. They have this you know, these
radio, so like you somebody when you ain't shit. They hot shit on the stick, but they cold out here running. The great words from the great star. The Oomster has spoken, the goddess has spoken.
Yeah, he gonna have a fit when he hear this. Cause he knows he knows.
Let him have whatever he wanna have, you devil. Somebody should have pinpointed you out. I'm not scared of you. That used to be there. Come my way now, boy. You won't only be a Nelly boy. You'll be there quick. I'm not playing with you. Shit, if you can get past the Draco, then you got it, buddy. So don't come over here if you don't want no trouble. And I'm speaking the truth. You're the liar.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm gonna stop the recording right here, and I just want to say thank you, Star, and I love you.
Always. I'm not afraid of no devil like that. Are you kidding me?
I'm gonna definitely try to finish up this video. I'm gonna call you later. All right, love you.
Okay, babe. All right, take it easy.
You too.
O children of Israel, our goal here today in the etheric realm and on the up and up within your skies is for you all, to live within very long and prosperous, renewed lives, wherein you all now made anew, renewed and purified, being the beauty of Anu, broken up fractally and centralized. Right now within you, sitting right side up, right now within your chest, treasure divine, coming from within, making you all no longer without, regardless, meaning without God again, for all times that are still yet to come, remembering where you've been and where you come from, but here today, standing, reunified, now again being united within